Well, well, well. It seems as though we are back at it and in action. Shout out to all my podcast listeners out there. Thank you for following the show, Who's to Blame, the podcast. This is episode 528. And after being off for about almost 4 months, we're back at it. And I tell you what, so much to say, so much to talk about, so much to get into, so much to find out about. But as always, thank you for tuning into the show. Got high fives in the building for everyone. Chest bumping. Let's hug it on out. There you go. If it's your first time tuning in, we do provide audio and video. If you're checking out the video on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, how you doing? Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in to the show. This is like my favorite time of the year for several reasons. The most important one is it's football time. It's water cooler talk, conversation. It's the belief system. And it's also fun to think back to the days of yesteryear when things were a little simpler, when we were still trying to define things and figure it out for ourselves. But right now, it seems though we're back in that situation in the world of sports and everyday life and entertainment for sure. But as always, if you're celebrating a birthday today, happy birthday to you. Again, shout out to my Aunt Terry and Aunt Lisa. Happy birthday. Also a friend to the show. Breezy, get well, get better. Speedy and healthy recovery to you. Happy birthday to Breezy out there. Breezy, be easy for Sheezy. Happy birthday to you. If you celebrate the anniversary, happy anniversary to you. If you're just feeling good and you know you made the right decision to put you where you're at right now, which is a comfortable situation, congratulations. It takes a lot to get there and understand that. And as always, shout out to our title sponsor. Right there, Cedar Pro Painters, OKC in the building. To get a complete list of all the sponsors of the show, feel free to visit the website, www.dremontez.com. If you would like to be a part of the family or team in the world of advertising, feel free to reach out to me. I will get back to you at my earliest convenience. Shout out to iTunes and Spotify and Apple podcast, wherever you listen to your favorite podcast at. Hello and how you doing? And thank you. I have missed doing this. When you get in a routine and you take a break, it's something special. But I believe a break is needed when you do certain things that you're passionate about. It's like in the workplace. You get a vacation. You get some paid time off. You get some personal time. I think now jobs are a little bit more lenient in giving you time off now to gather yourselves accordingly. As that was a favorite childhood saying of my eighth grade assistant principal. That is for sure. Speaking of school, I think everyone is out at school now. Them babies gone. Take your bra off, let your hair down, smoke you something good, open up the windows and enjoy this weather today on this What It Do Wednesday edition of Who's to Blame, the podcast. I'm very observant on things that I watch, that I try to bring to the show, or is talking about it, eyebrow raising, or pointing at the damn screen like, okay, I feel you, Dre. Now I know what you're talking about. These sports documentaries have captured a whole new audience to me. Since COVID, we've gotten more realism, not as much scripted with these sports series, docu-series, and documentaries. And I'm loving the ones that are focusing on high school. High school sports has changed. From you playing sports to what goes on, to being a high school athlete, the training, the diet plan, what's on you and the parents, what you need to know, NIL information, public schools, private schools, personal trainers, all of that is coming into effect depending on how you and your child want to take this leap, this journey into playing sports. Male and female is what I'm talking about. But this is new documentary out. I don't want to say it's new. And it's focusing on high school football. And to me, you can agree or disagree. When you observe football, documentaries, or movies, and it's in the South, it's a little bit different, isn't it? It's like if they're bringing something to your attention you didn't know existed. And when you see it and you live outside of the southern region of the United States and you see this, you're like, wow, why can't that same regimen and work ethic be applied to where I live at for its regions in the Midwest, out west, up north? It's just different. I guess it depends on the particular sport. On this one here, it's titled In the South, God, Family, and Football. In that order. In that order. They're bringing God to the forefront, your family, and then the game of football. And they say if you can combine all three of those, you can still have fun. You can compete at a high level, and you can get a clear sense of what you should be doing and how to do what you need to do. It's just something about these Southern films. I don't know if it's the dialect. I don't know how truthful it is when it comes to the discipline part of playing a particular sport in the South. It's like no one hits anybody. They're not talking bad about you, but they still believe that their coach is alive, and coach has probably been dead 15, 20 years. The coach you have now, who's in his 60s, he's still showing respect to a man or a woman that's not even here anymore, still speaking of them in the first person. That's how impactful that coaching tree and pedigree is in the South to me when the transition in sports is, and the translation of the game to get you to play better, to play higher, to play at your expectations. When they put those three things in front of you, God, family, and football, and the way they break it down, it makes it make sense. They're not trying to get you over religious, all up in your family business, but understanding what those two mean and what they can mean for you and do for you. We sit all the time when these kids leave home and go away. They're missing what? Their family, and they done lost touch with what? Already in the building. We know what happens. We know how it happens. I think these documentaries now are trying to show kids that want to go down this path in the work and the road of sports what's expected of you. They're watching everything: your body language, how you talk to your teammates, how you come prepared to the field, to the facility. What are you bringing to the table? They're paying attention to all of that. Your interaction with your family. They're watching all of that. If you can be rude to your family, there's no telling what you can do to an opposing teammate or a coach in the heat of the moment when you cannot figure it out. If you get a chance, do yourself a favor and check it out. It's on Freevee TV. In the South, God, family, and football takes on a whole different meaning. I think the world of sports itself, playing competitive softball for 25 years, traveling all over, still in the South is totally different. I mean, maybe it's the weather, maybe it's due to the lack of professional teams. But when it comes to getting ready for high school sports, collegiate sports, tailgating, and adult softball, it was a different thing, different feeling, different technique. I mean, you had to come with it, not just with gameplay. You better have some chest in you, you know what I mean? Because they come with it. And the speed in the South, oh my goodness. I mean, how does one region of people that damn fast, and you look the other way to the left, how are them people that damn tall? I have questions when it comes to the region and diversity, when it comes to size and speed in the world of sports. I have so many questions, but I do not let it go underappreciated for nothing at all. I tell you one more thing that I do not take for granted or undervaluing. Over this vacation, I met so many people that fit this criteria right here we're about to talk about. To do what you want to do. To do what you want to do. This may be a grandfather, grandmother, great uncle, great aunt telling you this right here. Well, now, if you want to do that, you know what you got to do. It's an old saying. In order to do what you want to do, here's what you got to do. I'm not talking about chasing the bag, going to get yours, waiting on my come up. Let me flip that, put 5 on it. Let me get a little bit more here. Please, Mr. Boss Man, can I get $1? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking applying yourself to invest in you knowing yourself and knowing what you can do and figuring out a way to make that work for you to do what you want to do. That's what I'm talking about. That chasing the bag, what's after the bag? What's after the bag? That's why having a goal list, you're going to run out. What happens when you complete that list of goals? What happens then? Where's the reward? Where's the satisfaction? But if you keep putting stuff on there, you keep getting higher and higher, getting more and more knowledge, laying your path out there. But in order to do what you want to do, you have to do this. You have to do that. And when you figure that out, there is no greater feeling. I was telling a good friend of mine, we were having a deep conversation, is when you're out here trying to navigate, it makes a whole lot of sense when you know yourself, when you know you, when you really know you. We hear people say this all the time. You don't know me. You don't know nothing about me. Go on, get out my face. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about actually knowing thyself. That goes a whole long way when you're trying to do what you want to do and figuring it out to make it make sense to you, as well as the people around you that it involves as well, whether it be family or friends or coworkers or a loved one, in order to do what you want to do. And if you're doing that right now, give yourself a high five, a standing ovation, a pat on the ass. Matter of fact, pat yourself on the ass and choke yourself. That's for another time. For another time. You see how you lose it right there? When you're trying to keep focus. Hey, that's what we're about here. Focus and opportunity at its finest for sure. Trying to figure it out some kind of way. And one more thing we're going to figure out one more time before we take a short break here. We'll get into this little topic of discussion. Footnote. Is it me, or is the fact that in baseball, these 5'6" to 5'8" ball players hitting this ball 400 feet as opposed to the ball players 6'2" and up, the numbers are staggering. Staggering. What these short players are doing with power and what these tall players are doing with power and speed, I'm fascinated by the world of Major League Baseball for sure. Before we take a break, I had to look at this game again. Look at this college football game again because I did not believe what I saw. Not just the score, the school matchup. I'm like, was it the weather, inclement field conditions? Did somebody get hurt? Was there catastrophic injury out there? I had to watch the Clemson at Duke football game again. That first quarter, Clemson came out with a type of dog in them that they needed. On the same side, you look at Duke. They lost 4 games last year by 1 point. Or less than 3 points, something like that. 4. So that lets you know they have it in them. They have the ability to win. They just got to figure out how to close out a game. Stop letting teams hang around and close them on out. Go for the home run. Go for it. Stop waiting. The bookies and us gamblers going to get our money. Just go out there and execute the game plan. Boom. And I'm watching the second quarter, and when Duke starts to get a little bit of life and belief system of them, and the crowd gets involved, and I'm watching the linebackers get to the quarterback. I never thought I would see a Clemson offensive line get pushed the way they did by a Duke college football team. Football at Duke. Third quarter, the quarterback for Duke, he had the type of speed. He was running like a gazelle. He wasn't appearing to be fast. He was hitting his lanes and his blocking. Then the run game, the belief system on the sideline, the way the crowd got into it. Dabo, you in trouble. I said this the other day on Montez at midday. Can the game pass a coach by? Can the times of the game, what you're used to coaching, what you're used to giving out there for his play calling and advice, has that kind of passed you over? I think it has passed Dabo on. I think it passed over big time. And then watching the end of that game, when teams don't believe in themselves and somehow in the middle of the game they figure out, hey, we got something here. Let's close them out. And then the student body gets involved. And then they rush the field. I love in college football when they rush the field the right way. Nobody gets hurt. What they did in Tennessee last year, they tore the goalpost down, walked that sumbitch to downtown Knoxville and put it in the river. The cops are right there. Go turn left right there, Junior. That's Big Ed's boy. My son played with him back in 82 in high school. That's how it is. But I had to do a double take on that game, and I could not believe what I saw. But I'm glad I saw it with my own eyes. And I tell you what, we've had 3 discussions right there. We're going to come back and have a little bit deeper dive into the world of the NFL and the world of conspiracy talk. Word from my sponsor, TMS. Be right back, kids, with more of Who's to Blame, the podcast.
St. Louis, are you suffering from depression? Our advanced mental health treatments offer support to those facing depression. Supported by science and over 1 million treatments administered, a countless number of lives have been revitalized with our newfound healing process. Because your well-being matters, we have 2 convenient St. Louis locations dedicated to your transformative pursuit of mental wellness. We understand the importance of informed decisions. Research, discover, and take the first step toward a brighter tomorrow. Visit palmiertms.com to uncover more about our non-drug treatment for depression, covered by all major insurance plans. Let us stand by your side on this journey towards mental wellness. Contact us today.
All right, good people, and welcome back to Who's to Blame, the podcast, episode 528. I'm your boy, the dude, Trey Montez. We've talked about football in the South, God, football, and family, in that order. To do what you want to do, there are certain things you got to do. And I had to do the double take and rewatch the Clemson Duke game because I could not believe what I saw. You know, when certain scores come up in your phone, you have to do a double take. Like, wait a minute, what? Like the baseball scores the past 2 days. But they gave Fernando Tatis all that hell when he hit that grand slam in the 8th inning a few years ago. It was a baseball game 20-6, and I do believe that was a 15-1 game yesterday. And they were still doing what? They hitting, boss. They hitting. Okay. I still need that back, which I did to Fernando Tatis Jr. That apology and that scolding on the field was uncalled for, unconstitutional. Who's to blame? All right. Who's to blame for these sports theories and conspiracy thoughts that we have? Why? Who puts this in our head? Who designs this level of thought process that everything that happens in the world of sports, that's not really what happened? There is another version of this. They can't possibly believe what happened. How did this happen? How did they get in this position? And how did they get this outcome? I want to say since COVID, I've been hearing rumblings out there about the sport and the game of the NFL is declining. Viewership is down. There's no team out there. There's nobody believing in their team. People like players right now. They're bouncing around. They done took 2 teams from us here in St. Louis. That's another discussion, Dre. That's another discussion. But the NFL and the conspiracy theories that roll with it, they're fine to listen to. They're fine to listen to. I will listen to any type of conspiracy theory out there that you have. Don't mean I have to believe it. But I will give you the head nod, get some laughter. We'll get a chuckle out of it. But this new one, they even have a commercial about it, a major commercial. Is the NFL scripted? If you believe so, please chime in. Please chime in. Let a brother know. Let a brother know if you believe the NFL is scripted. Or if you said to yourself, hold on now. Wait a minute. Let me think about that. How the hell did Trent Dilfer win that Super Bowl? Wait a minute. How every quarterback get hurt on a team on the path to the Super Bowl? Wait a minute. How did Eli beat terrific Tom twice. What the? Why didn't Seattle run the ball with Marshawn? Is the NFL scripted? Of course, there's probably plenty of evidence out there. There's plenty of storyline. But to actually think, let's think about this for a minute. You know how many people have to be on board to follow the script to the T? How many people have to be on board? You know, by now there would be a whistleblower for the NFL. There would be one. I cannot say with a sound, positive mind and thought process to really think that the NFL is capable of not doing this. I think with all the money the NFL has accrued, all the power, they own their own law firm, they got their own police force, their own investigative force, they own doctors. They allow you to do what you want to do. They watching you all the time. They have former FBI, CIA police chiefs that work for the NFL on a legal side of this. I could see this. The NFL is such a secret society. Let's be careful with that word and verbiage, but they are. Major League Baseball is kind of quiet, but the players come out after they retired on what went on with a particular team or a coach or a situation that we thought, hey, something's up here. But with the NFL, the power that they have, the control over these games, could they particularly predict the outcome of a game by giving teams a script, bullet points? We need this many passing yards. We need this many combined points. We need a outbreak player. It's going to be our star player. Think about when you were a kid, when you found out wrestling was scripted. Oh, boy, we thought there was real blood as kids, wrestling at the chase. We thought that was real blood. Like they really hit that man with a chair. I didn't believe that wrestling was scripted until like 95. That's how involved I was with wrestling at that time. Didn't take away from the atmosphere of it. But as everyone has pointed out to me, wrestling is entertainment. What is the NFL? National Football League. Entertainment. They won one of the major networks, ESPN. These are all entertainment outlets that they're giving us entertainment for 2.5, 3 hours. They're showing us a movie right in front of us. Movies have a script, have a plot, beginning, a middle, and an end. We get that. But I would hate to really, as a sports fanatic, it would crush me if I found out that there was even a 30% of a script going into these games. Certain teams in particular, the ones who can't win their way out of a paper bag, maybe teams like that, they're in the toilet financially. Well, that's what happened when you pay people $200 million. But on the other side of this, as a fan of the game and what's going to happen tomorrow, I'm looking forward to the upcoming season. But in the back of my mind, the way the game is going to be portrayed on the different streaming services this year, mainly YouTube. But the fact that Amazon Prime has come out and said they're going to do an AI version of the game. I have Miss Clifton. Yes, Dre. How are they doing this? How are they allowed to do this? I miss the uncertainty of the game. Now, with the way they tell us the spread and the injuries and their personal lives, we pretty much can figure out who's going to ball out or not the first 4 weeks of the season. We already know that. We know who the top tier teams are. There's no surprise mechanism in the NFL. Maybe an individual player performance throughout the year. But for as a team, no, sir. No, ma'am. Can't do it. Won't happen. Who's to blame? Us. I think with the thought process of a script, I think the people who walked away from the NFL doing all of that with Cap kind of started their own little theory over here to move people over here. Don't watch this shit anymore. It's scripted. It's no good. It's like the people who gave up on Madden, the video game, in the early 2000s. Just because I still play it doesn't make me a loser, Todd. Huh? I didn't give up on the game. Don't be a quitter here, buddy. Don't be a quitter. That's where we're at right now, figuring that out as far as the fan viewership, for sure. But there's no way I'm getting on board that the NFL scripted this whole thing. Could they possibly have a hand of meddling in the situation? Of course. It's like not everyone believes their kid. Mama, I didn't do it. Daddy, that wasn't me. Bullshit. Camera right here stealing boxes and shit. We'll take one last break. A word from our sponsor, Mountain Man Scrub. Get your scrub on. Be right back.
Mountain Man Scrub. As smooth as a river flows. MountainManScrub.com. Get your scrub on.
All right, get your scrub on today. Go to mountainmanscrub.com. Also visit the website at www.dremontez.com and get a listing of the sponsors. Again, if you want to join the team, let me know. You know how we do around here. Everybody gets a turn. This isn't high school anymore, Daddy. I get that, son. I get that for sure. Don't know what you got planned going on from Hump Day on, but there's a lot going on in and around the St. Louis area. There is a lot going on. Be safe at it. Be good at it. If you're going to put out, do it the right way. No sleepovers on Sunday nights anymore because school is in and kids will tell their mama, daddy, somebody spent the night. So be careful out there. I have given you advice on this upcoming school year. You guys have a great rest of your hump day. And thank you again for tuning in to Who's to Blame, the podcast. You guys take care. And thanks again. Peace. And we got a hit. Yeah. We got a hit. Don't. We got a hit. Peace. We out.